Welcome to the Craft of Coaching podcast, where we dive into what it truly takes to become a skilled, confident life coach. I'm your host, Kate, head of the CLCC, or Certified Life Coach Collective, an ICF accredited Level 1 coach training program. We combine courage, coaching, and community to offer you more than just a training program, but a life-changing experience where you use your own personal transformation as the learning ground for supporting your clients. On this podcast, we explore how you can use coaching skills to support your clients or expand your own growth, all grounded in evidence-based coaching practices. Learn more about our program and get free resources for becoming a life coach at teamclcc.com. And now, here's today's episode. All right, let's dive into finding your niche or niche. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I've heard people argue very passionately that it's pronounced one way or the other. I'm going to say niche today. Maybe that'll drive you nuts. Hopefully not, because the valuable information today is about how to find your niche as a coach. So let's dive in. One thing that I want to do from the get-go is make a very clear distinction. There is a difference between a coaching style and a coaching niche. So let's talk about style first. Your coaching style is the tone or energy you bring to a session. Some coaches, the way they speak, the way they let a question land is slower or methodical. It leaves more space for silence. They might actually be quieter. They might under-project their voices a little bit. Other coaches come with a style that's more direct, more to the point. Let's go kind of people. And different clients resonate with different coaching styles. That is important to point out for a couple of reasons. One is that the coaches that we have who are our facilitators for the Certified Life Coach Collective, they all bring very different styles. So some of them more direct, some of them less direct, things like that. Next, I also think it's important to say that different clients resonate with different coaching styles. And I'm literally saying that to the point that even in my own life at different times, I've needed different styles of coaching. I can think of one coach that I've worked with for quite some time he's very direct, he's very to the point, he's very really uncompromising, frankly, about what is integrity, what is the powerful choice, and how to support me going into that. There's another coach that I've worked with over the years, and her style, she is also uncompromising, but she's much more likely to have a soft tone of voice. The way she phrases things is different. The metaphors she uses is different. So the thread between the two of them that they have in common is that they really are not going to let me wiggle out on myself. They're going to champion me rising to the vision that I have. And of course, you want that in a coach. But stylistically, they're very, very different people. And a takeaway that I would like you to have from that discussion is that you do not need to change how you naturally show up, your style, in order to be the right kind of coach. You just need to show up as yourself. And I know. It's the most cliche advice in life, right? Like, just be yourself. But here's the thing. This is what I say about being yourself. I say this in a personal growth context over at Your Courageous Life or when I'm interviewed for somebody else's podcast. You never know when. Just by being yourself, you'll be somebody else's gift. You never know when, by being your authentic self, that's going to be what someone else needs the most. So if you are slower and more methodical in the way that you phrase things, but you're really impressed by the people who are super direct and get to the point, you do not need to be like them, because there are coaching clients out there who want your approach. And if you tend to be more direct and get to the point, and probably at some point in your life, you've been shamed or blamed for that and told that you were wrong or bad or that you're not supposed to be that way. Maybe you think, oh, I'm supposed to be different. I'm supposed to tamp it down a bit. No, there are clients for you too. The key here is presence, not performance. Authenticity, not performance. All right, so style and niche, two different things. Let's talk about niche. I often call a niche the topical doorway to the deeper work of coaching. People might come to you for a specific reason, such as to talk about their career. But there's this real work that's below the surface that's about them claiming their voice or not caring so much what other people think, fear, self-worth, comparisons. So I see a niche as an entry point. It's how clients find you. And I noticed that in training coaches and supporting them around building out the marketing for their business, there's often this fear that coaches have that if they choose one niche, then they're not going to be able to do deeper work or another type of work that they really want to do. And so that's why I'm always pointing out people come to you for specific reasons, such as talking about their career, but that underlying work, that deeper work, is what's going to come up naturally if you are a coach that knows how to create a container for it. It's very common for clients to show up with one topic, the niche, and then realizing that the patterns they're facing actually show up across their lives. Niche is just an entry point. It's a doorway. It's not the totality of what you'll do with your clients. So what are some common niches? Health and wellness coaching, executive coaching, which is more like corporate organizational work, relationship coaching, somatic coaching, which is really about how do we take a trauma-informed perspective, not diagnosis, not therapy, but a trauma-informed perspective around helping people to be fully in their bodies and use their bodily wisdom to make decisions, to feel grounded in their lives. There's career coaching, very common for people who want to do a career pivot. Parenting coaching, creativity coaching. I've even seen infertility coaching and equine coaching. So really, it's like, how do you settle into, again, this is about presence and not performance. How do you settle into the topic that is an entry point that you would feel really lit up working around, and then trust that those patterns and things that are going to come up, if you are a health and wellness coach, you're going to notice patterns and you will have room to help your clients explore the patterns that show up for them around health and wellness that are also in their work life and also in their life as a parent or also impacting them around creativity. Okay? The other thing that's important to think about with niches is that you actually don't have to have one. I know, that's radical, right? Everybody in the business world pretty much is going, yeah, you got to have a niche. You need to have a niche. No, you don't have to have one. Not now, not even after certification. You can just be a life coach. What is going to matter more than a niche is having a point of view, a perspective on how you help people with the problems that they face, why your approach matters, and how you help them arrive at the solutions that they desire. And I'm going to tell you a little story about that from my own experience. All the different things that I have now. A lot of people were telling me when I started out as a coach, you have to have a niche. And I never fully adopted one. When I first became a coach, I thought I had to have one. Didn't fully adopt it though, because essentially I thought, okay, I'll be a creativity coach. I wanted to help artists and writers stay accountable to themselves, get reinvigorated and re-inspired, things like that. So I start working with people on that. And very quickly, what I discovered was that what I loved working with people on wasn't the creativity itself. It was helping people move through all of their doubt and fear and hesitation. That's the deeper thread that was the constant in my work. And that's what led to everything else that I have created now, the courage habit and how courage underlies our CLCC program and things like that. So even today, speaking to you, I don't have a niche in the traditional sense. I'm a life coach. But here's what I do have. I have a very clear point of view that there is no such thing as fearless, that anyone who is trying to tell you that the end goal is to be fearless, go ahead, tell your fear to F off, be fearless, that is bullshit. And my point of view is about how people respond to fear and how courage becomes a practice. that you actually can feel the courage and the confidence and all of the things you want to feel in your life without trying to strive for fearless, which doesn't exist. Everybody's afraid of something. But instead, courage is the practice to go after. And in my book, for instance, The Courage Habit, I talk about how to make it a practice. That's another thing that's a point of view that's different. And I did a lot of research with this. I had to for IP purposes and also for working with my publisher when The Courage Habit came out. No one was talking about how to make courage a habit. People were talking about habits, but they weren't talking about how to make courageous behavior a habit. So again, you don't need to have a niche to be a powerful coach, but you do need to have a point of view. And if you want to do an even deeper dive into any of this, the Coaching Blueprint, which is a digital marketing program that we offer, it's included in our CLCC coach training program, but you also can purchase it one-off. If you are interested in that, head to coachingblueprintprogram.com. A lot of help in that program for how to figure out what it is you want to say, what your point of view is, things like that. So finding your coaching niche, how do you do that? Well, one of the things you need to actually find your niche, if you are really going, yes, I do want to have one, you need practice. That's what you really need. So instead of trying to obsess over finding a niche right away, practice. In the Certified Life Coach Collective, the coach training program I run, our trainees complete 60 hours of one-on-one coaching, not just 20. Like a lot of these other programs out there, it's like they do like 20. And that kind of immersion gives you the depth and clarity for you to discover your coaching style, for you to discover what kind of niche you'd like to go into, if any, and get a sense of what about coaching really lights you up. And I can't tell you how many times, I've lost count of how many times people apply to the CLCC program. They say on their application something like, I've been working at an acupuncturist clinic for a while and I think I might want to be a health and wellness coach. And then they come into CLCC and they do all this coaching and then they realize, oh, actually I want to do something different. Business and executive organizational coaching, really, really big when people are transferring out of corporate and they go, oh, I know a lot about that. I'd love to do that. And then they get into CLCC and they go, liberation. Turns out I want to do something so totally different. Forget about corporate. I don't want to do anything else with corporate. And if you have only done like 20 hours of coaching practice through a training program, you often don't get to discover what it is you want to do. In fact, we've surveyed our CLCC participants, like how many hours of one-on-one coaching would you say you did before you started to really feel like you were in a groove and you knew kind of what you're doing? And people have told us, our graduates have told us that it was around the 20-hour mark that they started to feel like they were getting into a routine and a groove with their coaching and learning about their style and all of that. So, look, I was required when I did my initial training through a program that no longer exists now. I was only required to do 20 hours of coaching. And I think that that's probably why I left that training program. And I was like, oh, I'll be a creativity coach. And it was only after I started to hang a shingle out that I realized, oh, there's this deeper level that I want to do around not just creativity, but really fear and how fear holds us back and how to move through it with a practice of courage. So whether you train with us or someone else, make sure that your training program offers robust practice opportunities. Now, the next thing that we developed in the CLCC program to try to help people figure out what it was that they wanted to do for a niche was that we started to offer optional majors within our program, kind of like in college. When you are enrolled in a college program, you take general education courses first, and then you can declare a major, and then you get more specialized training in those majors. And so we developed 4 different major concentrations, and we're open to adding more in the future. And they are somatic coaching, which is not trauma coaching. It's trauma informed. I'm very big on this. I do not believe that coaches should be trying to coach around trauma. Trauma is very specialized. It is possible to re-traumatize someone if you don't know what you're doing. very important that unless you have that dual training in the therapeutic modalities of trauma, I don't think people should be trauma coaching. But somatic coaching, which is trauma informed, helps clients to listen to their bodily wisdom, to tap into intuition, to make more grounded decisions. Somatic coaching is great for clients who maybe feel things before they can really articulate them or put them into words. It supports presence, emotional awareness, and nervous system understanding, but without clinical intervention. So that's one of the majors we offer. Next is executive coaching. Very popular in the corporate world, and we have even seen with some of our participants that it's reimbursed by employers. Executive coaching is also, I would say, high growth because more and more corporate entities are finding that executive coaching really helps their employees, even if you aren't literally coaching the executive suite. Executive coaching focuses on leadership, performance, strengths, motivation, workplace relationships, change. It can be paired with other types of major concentrations, like somatic coaching, for instance, could be paired with executive coaching for a heart-centered approach to executive development. So again, I said you don't have to choose a niche, and also the niche does not have to be limiting. You can meld some of these niches together. And I think executive coaching works really well for coaches who have experience in the corporate sector and they really want to transition or enhance their current role. So, getting a promotion because you have additional practice and certification in executive coaching. Fantastic. The third major concentration that we offer is health and wellness coaching. Now, this is also an important one. Our program, our health and wellness coaching major, is not diet or weight loss centric. Now, if someone wants to lose weight, we are not also saying that that's wrong or bad or you shouldn't want to lose weight. Rather, the health and wellness major concentration is rooted in body positivity, self-care, holistic wellness, not quick fixes, not crash diets, not calorie counting. It's really about whether you want to lose weight or you don't, it doesn't matter. How do we help our clients to develop loving, sustainable habits around food, movement, well-being? How do we help them to develop a loving and caring relationship with their physical body? And this is the type of major that's ideal if you're interested in helping people redefine what healthy is, but in nourishing ways. And last, the fourth major concentration we're offering is career coaching. It's actually been very popular. Career coaching is not as popular, I'm finding, with new graduates. Career coaching, I'm actually finding, is most popular for people who are making a midlife career transition or pivot. So career coaching is really about helping clients to find meaningful work, change careers, make purpose-driven career decisions. This is another major that often can pair really well with other majors like executive coaching. And I see the deeper work of career coaching as being not about how do I just write a resume, but about how do you help people realign their lives with what truly matters. Because most of us are doing a 40-hour job. And if you are doing that all week long, you're spending a lot of time at work. So let's make sure that it's a career that lights you up. So those are the four major concentrations that we offer, that we are finding to be most popular and that people can use to, get a certain type of client. But again, the core coaching curriculum, the core skill set of being able to powerfully hold space for people, that's the thing that's really going to get you the referrals. That's the thing that's really going to help you to develop relationships with your clients where there's a high degree of trust and rapport. So they'll actually bring you some of the deeper threads that are going on in their lives. And, you can change directions. You're not locked into a niche for life. We have also seen our graduates from our program leave our program and say, this is what I think I want to do as a coach. And then later they say, actually, I want to do something different. And I celebrate that. I celebrate that so much. rebranding, going in a different direction, it takes a lot of courage to do. And I really do believe that if you are moving out of whatever career you've been to come to be a coach full time, you are not leaving one career path that didn't fulfill you, that didn't fully light you up, only to go into coaching and then set that up as something that doesn't light you up. That's one of the things about becoming a coach that I find to be most thrilling, is that it's a career that's going to change with you. You're not likely to be bored from year to year because you're going to change, and therefore the things that you offer your clients are going to change as well. So, finding your coaching niche. Let me wrap it all together. One, you could have a niche if you like. It's just a doorway to the deeper work. The most important thing is, do you know how to powerfully support your clients? And next, you don't have to have a niche at all. And next, you do need that clarity about your point of view. How are you helping people to solve the problems that they're facing in their lives? If you want to have a niche, the best way to figure out what your niche is going to be is to give yourself time and space to discover that. The same is true of your coaching style, and you do not need to change up your coaching style with this idea that if you do, you'll get more clients. No, there are people who prefer your style over somebody else's style, I guarantee you. If you're drawn to what I've been talking about today, I'd love for you to explore more. Head over to teamclcc.com. And I also would love to hear any stories that you might have to offer about how you settled on what your coaching niche is. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Before you go, would you help us out and take a moment to give us a rating in iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening? It really helps us get the word out to other listeners. And before you go today, would you like free resources to support your coaching journey? Whether you're considering becoming a coach or you want advanced coach skills training, access our coaching resource library at teamclcc.com. Again, that's teamclcc.com. Can't wait to connect with you. And again, thanks for listening.